Addict podcast.
We are here coming to you live.
The Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. You only win a Super Bowl 2 times every 5 years, right?
Oh!
The warm-up act is over. Let's bring in Melissa Etheridge, massive Chiefs fan. Melissa.
Super Bowl champion, 2-time Pro Bowler, and Trent Green. Trent Green, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And he picked it up! He picked it up! He's gonna score!
And we'll see you next week. But until then, as always, go Chiefs.
What is up, Arrowhead Addicts, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome to the official Arrowhead Addict pregame show for Week 3. We're not here with cocaine bears. I think we're here with Novocaine bears, as in numb, painless. Yeah, you can pretty much perform whatever surgery you want on these bears. They're 0-2. Is Justin Fields going to do? I don't know. The NFL is topsy-turvy. Right now, Gardner Minshew has a chance to knock off the Ravens. So things can still be upside down. But yeah, I think we're all predicting a beautiful afternoon for the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm here with our analysts, Sterling Holmes, Joe Summers. First of all, as we get going, how are you on this Sunday afternoon? How are you feeling about Chiefs football?
I'm good. Played 18 holes of golf today, went to a 1-year-old's birthday party, and then we got back to watch some football. It is a great Sunday. I'm very excited. The Chiefs should dominate this game. This should be one of those games that Andy always says we're looking forward to the challenge of playing so-and-so. They're well coached. He's a liar. I know he said it this week. He's a liar, okay? They're not well coached. They're not a good team. You should not be looking forward to the challenge of, because you should have whacked this team. The Bears are 2 scoops of ass. They're in disarray. They have 2 fields in disarray. Not only is Justin Fields in disarray, their actual field, after they got mowers and gators stolen from the place. It's ridiculous.
Honestly, I wish that I'd had a one-liner as solid as your Novocaine line was prepared, because that was a 10 out of 10. So well done there, Mr. Connor. No, but I'm feeling good. Sterling said it best. We should obliterate the Bears. The vibe scale could not be more polar opposites. You've got the Bears dealing with the defensive coordinator situation, Justin Fields calling out the coaching, shit getting stolen from their facility. And then on the other end, you've got Taylor Swift coming in to come watch her boo Travis at the game. So the vibes could not be on more polar opposite scales today. I'm feeling good. The weather could not be more pristine. It's a great day to be at Geehaw Field at Arrowhead Stadium, and I'm pumped to watch a double-digit Chiefs victory.
We're hoping, to use a Taylorism, we hope the Bears know losing all too well, and that continues today. Before we move on, just want to let our friends over at DraftKings, folks, they've upped their sign-up offer to kick off football season. New users, that's you, can place a $5 first bet to instantly claim, instant as in right now, $200 in bonus bets, plus up to $150 back in bonus bets if your team loses. All you have to do is sign up with our code Arrowhead. Use our code Arrowhead. Not only gets you these great bonuses, but it also directly supports our podcast. Look at Sterling wearing that hat right now, and you'll know he needs the support. If you've been considering signing up for DraftKings, make sure to use our code Arrowhead to maximize your first bets. This offer is only available to new customers who are 21 and over, physically present in legal gambling states. Please remember to always gamble responsibly and check our episode description for the full terms of the offer to see if you qualify today. Now, to get into today's battle against the visiting Bears, look, I want to start with this idea that the NFL is topsy-turvy. Just before the show, the three of us were talking. The Mike Vrabel was embarrassed today. The Colts are going toe-to-toe with the Ravens. There's always these upside-down games, and the Chiefs have already played one of those kind of games in Week 1. Week 3 was the culprit last year with the Indianapolis Colts and that weirdo game that made us all want to hang our heads in shame for a long time. Here's the Bears. It's a chance to get right. In any way, are you worried about this sort of early season, unpredictable, topsy-turvy thing? Joe, you're already shaking your head no. I want to hear you tramp all over this idea.
Well, I mean, you're right. This is the classic trap game. If we hadn't lost to the Lions, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But no, like the Browns are a team where, like, the Murphy's Law, everything that could go wrong is going wrong. It's a freaking disaster.
Yeah.
And this is a defensive line is terrible, a linebacking group is terrible, a secondary is terrible. The perfect opportunity for Patrick Mahomes and the offense to finally showcase themselves and say, hey, we're not just sleepwalking the first couple weeks. If we don't come out firing, if we wind up in a close game in the fourth quarter, then it's a complete indictment on the preparation and the coaching staff, frankly. And I have enough faith in Andy Reid, in Spagnuolo and Nagy and the crew that that's not going to happen. So I would be stunned if we come out with anything other than our best effort.
Sterling?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be stunned, but at the same time, you got to take any game in the NFL seriously. We've seen it time and time again. Last year is a perfect example, right? You saw the Chiefs play toe-to-toe to the Broncos, who were in disarray last year. You saw the Chiefs go toe-to-toe with the Houston Texans, who were tanking that season. You've seen the Chiefs when they lost to the Giants, or barely beat the Giants that one. I'm talking
like
that,
week 8.
Right? The Colts, they lost to the Colts. Like, any given Sunday rings true in the NFL. It happens. And I will also say this, while the Chiefs are much more talented than the Chicago Bears, and I do expect the Chiefs to handle their business, what I will say, all the guys in the Chicago Bears play in the NFL. They are all NFL players. They got there for a reason. Okay. Justin Fields, I don't think is a good quarterback. Okay. I don't think they're well coached. I think there's a lot of dysfunction happening in Chicago. Same time, all of those guys, they're getting paid by the NFL. They made it this far. It's not Alabama versus an FCS school, right? We're not talking that big of a disparity. There's a difference here. There are levels to this. So what I will say is, well, the Chiefs should win. They should win handedly. I'm not going to say it's impossible for some wonkiness to happen, because the Chiefs, as we know, well, almost every game is a weird game.
If you were going to make a comparison of any NFL teams being an Alabama versus an FCS school, though, this would be the exact situation and matchup that you would describe. Like, everything that's happening with the defensive coordinator this week, on top of Justin Fields calling the coaching staff and things just being generally a disaster over there. This is the analogy that you would make. This exact Bears team with everything that's going on against this Chiefs team. So if we don't come out firing, then I've got questions, to say the least.
Hey, while I agree with that statement, the difference is those FCS teams, for example, going against a team in the SEC, there's too much of a talent disparity. Well, yes, you can say the same thing with the Bears, all of this off the field stuff, backs against the wall, nothing to lose. That makes for a little scarier team when there's NFL athletes and NFL players on said roster. Those FCS schools, they don't have a chance, because they can be pissed. You saw Colorado and Oregon, right? Oregon just has the guys. They have more talent. They have the legitimate upper echelon guys. Okay. At some point, you can do all this stuff. You can go on the you can talk your talk, but until you have the athletes, it's not going to matter.
Let's not forget, the Bears were a decent source of preseason buzz. Like, the Bears were not being referred to as the Arizona Cardinals in the preseason, and we're only through 2 games. So I don't want to declare them like they're going to go 0-17 or something. I'm not there with them. I think I'm in the middle here. I don't expect us to win by 40 because the first 2 games have played out the way they have. I'm not saying they won't, but yeah, if that happens, let's go sunny side up. If the Chiefs dominate today, like we're all kind of expecting, or at least semi-expecting, when we look back, what do you think will have gone correctly? What are you looking at as like, oh yeah, if we roll, this is probably why. Sterling, let's start with you.
Let's start with the defensive side of the ball. They were able to contain Justin Fields. Justin Fields has not been able to move. He's not running around. He's calling himself robotic, but that's the worst damn robot we have ever seen. I'm sure the Bears wish he was being robotic, because that guy is holding onto the football forever. But if he gets out and starts scrambling, if he starts running more, which I do expect some today, that could be a problem. So stopping him, that means things went well for Kansas City. I would expect to see a lot of Drew Tranquill. Obviously, no Nick Bolton heading into this game. That's a big loss for the Kansas City Chiefs defense, but more Drew Tranquill, more Leo Chenal, obviously Willie Gay Jr. That's what I'm looking for on the defensive side of the ball. And then offensively, it's going to be with the wide receivers, okay? Patrick Mahomes getting on the same page with some of the young guys, with Rashee Rice, with Sky Moore. I'm not really worried about MVS and Justin Watson. I think, quite frankly, they've done their job up to this point. But with some of those younger guys, maybe we see Justin Ross get involved, especially in the red zone. That's what I'm looking for offensively.
Joe?
Yeah, and so particularly with the wide receivers, I want to see Sky Moore put a couple of good games together. He was solid last week, came up big late, had the touchdown. I want to see him string together a few nice performances. But for me, the key to the game, if the Chiefs blow out the Bears, what happened? It's the offensive line balled out and gave Mahomes protection. The Bears defensive line, Eddie Jackson notwithstanding, is not good. And so if you give Pat 4 or 5 seconds every single play, I'm going to feel good about our chances. And that's going to elevate the wide receivers. I think Kelsey is going to have a big game. I don't think that he would have I know that it's a pop culture thing, but I don't think he'd have Taylor Swift coming to the game if he didn't feel like he could ball out. With that DraftKings offer, his over-under is only at 70.5, plus 550 for the first touchdown. I think he's in store for a big day. I think he's feeling healthy, and I think our offensive line is going to show why it's one of the top 5 units in the NFL.
I want to ask about the opposite here, but let's go to just a couple quick comments. Morgan Van Shiver says, I have faith that Reed and Mahomes knows what's up, and they've had a good week of preparation. I expect that we will turn this thing around offensively. Rhino says, y'all are that scared. It cracked me the F up.
I'm not scared, bro. Hell no. Absolutely not.
Action Jackson.
Let's go.
Action Jackson says, you guys are thinking too much about this Bears game. You're they're a disaster. We certainly hope so. Also, though, if you've been a fan of this team for a long time, there's a long history of also going, what happened here? So, yeah, I get that. Let me switch just real fast. If this thing goes awry, if something goes off the rails today, what will have gone off the rail? Like, if there's a concern for you, Joe, let's start with you. If something happens, a shocker, or even like a way too close game that has us like shaking our heads going, I don't feel good about this, even with a win. What fills in that blank for you? The
only way that we don't win today is if someone slips Quaaludes into the Gatorade. Honestly, like we have so many advantages all across the field that it would require a completely uncharacteristic and unorthodox level of turnovers, penalties. If Justin Fields goes out and breaks a couple of long runs, breaks out of the pocket, something like that. But offensively, given how the Bears have given up at least 24 points in 12 consecutive games. This is a horrific defense. And so the only way that we don't put up 28 or more and dominate the game is if we have a ton of penalties, turnovers, if Kadarius Toney goes back to week 1, and then if Justin Fields does something he hasn't done since last season, frankly.
Sterling?
The Chiefs' spontaneous combust. I don't know. Meteor comes out of the space and just lands directly at Arrowhead. I'm not sure, man, because the Chiefs should win this game. A lot of things would have to go wrong. It would have to be one of those situations where we're looking back saying, wow, I can't believe the Chiefs had 3 fumbles. I can't believe that they, with Richie James not being the punt returner, that no one could catch the football. That it's gonna have to be one of those type of games, man. I don't see there's any the Chiefs defense right now is looking really, really good. I know Roschon Johnson is an electric runner. He's strong up the middle. No Nick Bolton. I get that in the run stuffing game, but I don't think it's going to be enough. No matter how good he runs, it's not going to make that much of a difference. So barring something drastic on the turnover side of things, as long as the Chiefs don't lose by more than 3 turnovers, turnover margin by 3. No, seriously, this is not me being hyperbolic.
You're right.
I think as long as they don't lose a turnover battle by 3, I think the Chiefs will completely be fine.
Okay. Joe, to you, I know you got some great bets for us to make for those people who still haven't made their last-minute wagers. What do you got for us?
Well, so first I'm on Kelsey. He's at 70.5 receiving yards, and I also like him to score a touchdown in the game, shot in front of his new boo. But for me, it's the Chiefs minus 11.5, 12.5 at FanDuel right now, depending on where you go. Look, the Bears are 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games. In their last 7 as double-digit underdogs, they're 1-6. They don't show up in this spot. And there's a big narrative about how the Chiefs struggle as double-digit favorites, and that's true in some situations, but we're good at home. We're 4-2 against the spread in our last 6 games at home as double-digit favorites. I think that we improved that to 5-2 in the last 7 today. So I'm on the Chiefs. And Jerick McKinnon, if there's going to be a game until the second half of the season in the playoffs that he shows out, it's going to be this one. We had the injury news of Isaiah Pacheco this week. He's going to play, but we shouldn't need him to give his full maximum effort. And the Bears have given up the most receiving yards and receptions to running backs so far this season. So it's a tailor-made matchup for McKinnon. So I like to target him as well.
Let me check in on this high school basketball game. Oh, no, wait. That's just the Miami Dolphins Denver Broncos game. Miami has put a 70 spot on Denver. No,
oh, my.
No,
70?
I did not say 17. Didn't say
70?
30, 40, 50, 60. No, 70 to 20. Oh, and by the way, Denver actually had a kick return for a touchdown. Well, you'd probably imagine they get a kick return for a touchdown after you've received that many kickoffs, right? You have that many opportunities. You'd assume just based on the numbers, you'd get one back. 70 spot. Devon Achane has, 203 yards, like 3 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert has 4 touchdowns. And Mike White threw for a 68-yard touchdown pass in this game as well.
By the way, Jalen Waddle's not even playing.
Yeah, no. Again, when I say Mike White threw for a 68 touchdown pass that may have gone over your head, no, that's not Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, he's been sitting for a while now. Mike White came in. You think the New York Jets might want Mike White instead of Zach Wilson? I don't know. It could be. But yeah, Denver's vaunted defense looking really good. I'm sure Sean Payton was going to go in and fix everything, right? Right, guys?
You should hire Greg Williams.
Fix everything. Well, good thing they didn't give him draft capital. No, they didn't give him draft capital or anything to bring in a head coach or anything like that. And I'm sure Sean Payton didn't throw the entire previous coaching staff under the bus. I'm sure none of that happened. And I'm sure they're not tied to Russell Wilson for a long time. If we need to pull up Verderam's Verderant from a while ago, no, I'm sure none of that stuff's happening.
It'd be a shame if it was. I'll tell you what.
I like your anti Sean Payton.
Oh, dude, he was so insufferable going in just to the Broncos, calling everyone out, taking shots at coaches that are no longer there, saying, "Oh, no way, man, no way that Russell Wilson fell off a cliff like that." And then you got a 70 burger put on your head, put on your dome. Man, the audacity of Sean Payton.
Hey, back
Hope
to
he
the
has a
Chiefs.
good time in Miami tonight.
Hey, back to the Chiefs here because we're gonna wrap things up here in just a few minutes before the game. Give me sort of a performer that you're looking for under the radar. Is there a player that you think could really put together some production today on either side of the ball that may go overlooked in the storylines we're talking about? Joe, can I start with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Tranquil is the obvious one. He's a bit above the radar, especially with Bolton being out. But I'm gonna go with Rashee Rice actually. So his yards per target is an elite level right now. Like he hasn't been on the field very much, but when he's been on the field, he's produced at an extremely high level. And in a situation where I expect us to blow him out, this is the perfect opportunity to get Rice on the field, particularly in the second half. And I want to see him show out. If we can get him somewhere in the 35 to 40% of snaps, I'd be happy with that. And then on the other side, I'm really, really interested to see if Derek Nottie can continue his strong play to this point. Played just over 50% of snaps last week. He's a really, really effective against the run so far. Justin Fields, obviously an excellent running quarterback. So I want to see Nottie continue to take steps forward. And then I want to see Rice in the second half, especially.
I will say for everyone out there, Chiefs inactive players for today's game are Nick Bolton, Wanye Morris, Lucas Niang, Keandre Coburn, BJ Thompson, and Nick Jones. The only surprise there, obviously, is Nick Bolton. As far as the actives, Isaiah Pacheco, Kadarius Toney, and Willie Gay Jr. are all a go for Kansas City after being questionable all week long. With Isaiah Pacheco, that was going to be maybe an under-the-radar guy I was going to go with, but offensively, I'm going to go with a different guy. I'm going to go with Juwan Taylor. I want to see Juwan Taylor get right. I want to see the penalty stop. I want see how he lines up in this game. I know he had that whole quote basically saying, this is what I was doing in Jacksonville. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, it's because he's on Kansas City now, so of course he's getting flagged. That may be true. Doesn't change the fact that that's going to continue to get flagged as the season goes on. So he is going to have to change. My concern, he's very athletic. He had a 98% pass rush win rate or pass blocking rate win rate last week. It was incredible. He's kept getting flagged. So my concern is he's been doing this for 4+ years now. How long will it take him to change, and how will it affect his game? So Jawan Taylor is who I'm looking for offensively. Defensively now, I'm going to go with Leo Chenal. Leo Chenal should get a good chunk of reps. Obviously, no Nick Bolton. We're going to see a lot of Leo. He had his first pass rush, actually as a D end last week. Again, Daniel Harms and myself were clamoring to see him there for the past, 2 years. So I'm so glad we got to see that. I want to see if he does that anymore against Denver. I'm really excited to see that. So Leo will be my guy defensively.
Love it. Love it. This is way under the radar, but this is going to be our first game we see Neil Farrell active for the Chiefs after they traded for him in the preseason. So it should be interesting to see kind of where he slots in as a rotational guy with Noddy and those guys, especially as the Bears try to establish the run to create any sort of space offensively. So that's my under the radar guy. Look, we're coming up against our time here, but what I want to get is an official prediction from you guys before a kickoff. How bad do you think this is going to go for the Bears? Joe, you've been talking trash all game. Do you have like a final score and any further trash talk you want to give to Chicago?
34-10. Chicago, you've got a lot of really fun things to do in your city. I bet the weather's really nice today. You should go do those things instead of watch this game. Chiefs roll, baby. Let's go. Taylor Swift in the house. Come on, baby.
Your obsession with Taylor Swift is second to none. I am very impressed with that bit. You and I are going to have some bad blood if we keep with these Taylor Swift things. I'm going 28-13 Chiefs. Andy Reid, it's not going to be that close at all. I know 15 points seems like a wide margin. It's probably going to be even wider, but Andy Reid is not going to try to embarrass teams. How often are we clamoring for Andy Reid to not take his foot off the gas? We'll probably see him take his foot off the gas here. Obviously, Ryan Poles, former Kansas City Chief organizational guy, he's not going to want to try and embarrass them. So I think 28-13, but quite frankly, the Chiefs probably could put up 42. But Andy, he ain't going to embarrass anyone. That's not what he's about.
Yeah. It'll be interesting if Taylor Swift really is there today.
Who cares? Who cares? I don't understand. I don't get this.
I care. Travis cares.
Kelsey will be
my
in the
plus
suite with her.
550. First touchdown scorer cares.
All right. I can't even compete with that, so I'm not even going to go there anymore. All right. Folks, you've been hanging out with Joe Summers, with Sterling Holmes, with myself. Thank you so much for always hanging out with us. Look, be back here at halftime for our halftime breakdown of how well things are hopefully going for the Chiefs. And our post-game, our buddy Matt Verderam will be back hanging out with us here as well. I forgot to give my prediction. I'll go 40-10.
Ooh,
why not?
Even bigger than me. There you go.
Yeah, why not? Just go big or go home. So anyway, on behalf of everyone, of course, go Chiefs, and we'll see you here at halftime. See you then.
Go Chiefs.